Obviously, that was a real easy game. They just told me, I had no idea, we shot 81 balls today. That's, it's, there's a fake, let's call it what it is, fake news that exists in the world of recruiting and all the other nonsense that I don't turn kids loose, and I kind of don't play fast and all this other nonsense that's always out there. We play faster than any team in the SEC, and that's the way it's always been. But for whatever reason, that story's out there, and and I got to read nonsense sometimes that I'm kind of a control freak and I don't turn kids loose, and it's a bunch of hogwash, and it's used against me in recruiting, but it's all right, it's all good, Really proud of Coach R. I've been fighting him in a good way, to believe in himself, and so I'm really happy that he played with that aggression and that confidence, making it's not some guys score 25, but they score a lot like middle section of the game, and then they disappear. That dude made a big time step down jump shot from the baseline, big time offensive rebound tip in, made his free throws. I mean, all that with the game in the balance. That's credit him. We need him to keep growing. Absolutely need him to keep growing.
Frank Hassani was in here and kind of joked that maybe the concussion kind of knocked something loose in Coach Sarr, and that's why he played so well. I mean, you've mentioned you've been fighting him, but what do you think has been the problem? Just a confidence thing?
Yeah, that's just he's not an aggressive personality. He's passive, and he's happy being, like his freshman year. He was just the fifth guy, but he's got so much more ability, mentally, physically, than that, and getting him to just believe in himself. That's been the biggest challenge. Like early in the game, he missed some shots, and I didn't say a word to him because he kept shooting. In the past, when he misses a shot or two, he stops. And then he passes up good shot. This is the thing about basketball. It's really hard to get a good shot. When you got a good shot, you have to shoot it. And he'd pass up good shots, and then now the defense resets, and it's hard again. And it's I'm really happy for him. He deserved to have a game like this not against a bad team, against a really good team.
You touched on the point I was going to bring up. He started out a little bit slow offensively. Were you surprised that he stayed as aggressive, or is that something that you envision with the way you practice the last couple days?
John, I wish I had that answer. I'm just happy he stayed aggressive. That's what I've been begging him to do. I'm literally yelling at him, hugging him, showing him film, begging him. Mike can be a guy that can make a lot of money playing basketball. He's 260 pounds, moves his feet, can run, goes in the weight room. He is strong as an ox. He's not a lights out shooter, but this year he's worked at becoming a good shooter. I just want him to be aggressive, man. You're too big and strong, too talented. You're too mobile to be passive. And I hope that this gives him confidence, because now it becomes when teams really, really want to focus in on Chris, like obviously Mississippi State was, it gets real hard to have to deal with both of them dudes in there. And hopefully it's something that he can continue. Are we past deadlines? Why? We're early for tomorrow.
Coach, how important was it to focus on the little things that end result helped you win the game? And what did you say to your guys tonight for games like this to get them to remember that it's the little things in games like this that will help you win the game?
It's everything. Like I told the team after the game, I'm not going to tell you what the scouting report was, but we had guys that didn't trust in our scouting report on some things. And we spent the whole game trying to get them like, yo, stop doing it your own way. Do what the scouting report tells you to do. And that little thing right there, that's called trust. It's something that we're a lot better at. A month ago, 6 weeks ago, all our guys, no one trusted. We just played. We didn't trust. Without trust, you can't play for each other. And we're starting to figure that out. We're starting to understand that don't get wrapped up in the emotion of a good play, bad play. Don't get wrapped up on winning. Like, let's say A.J. Lawson, okay? He didn't play real well today. All right? He wasn't very aggressive. He was kind of in between everything, offensively and defensively. I called the play for him with the game on the line. That kid came off that screen and stuck that jump shot. I mean, he trusted. And when I called the play, I did it on purpose. I did it at Florida to get Keyshawn going. I did it today because we needed him to get going. So that gave him a little feel good to himself. He was lights out defensively after not playing well defensively, lights out in overtime. In that last possession, that's a true, like a high school senior against Quindarius Witherspoon, who's a 4-year like stud in this league. AJ's discipline defensively, his activity created that bad possession for them at the end. It's trust. That's the word that I keep using with our guys. We got to keep growing there.
I was going to ask about AJ, but as a follow-up to that, with Keyshawn and AJ doing what they've done these last 2 games, where they've had these stretches where they've made winning plays for you after not the best of games, is there better leadership on this team than in the past?
Down.
And is that
Hands
reflective in some of these freshmen coming through in those tougher moments?
Hands down. As soon as I did Chris the right way, Chris is just taking over. Chris is remarkable what he's doing right now, just in practice and his demanding of his teammates. But the reason he's starting to do that, it kind of reminds me of Michael Carrera. Michael Carrera wanted to yell at everybody all the time, but he never do what he was supposed to do. So guys don't want to hear you yelling if you don't do your job. It didn't click for him until second half of his junior year, and then obviously monster senior year. Now you can lead. Now when you talk, I'll shut up. I'll let you tell the players what to do. Chris has kind of gotten to that, and Mike has been real good with that. Mike in the last, 3-4 weeks, he's taken a big step forward there. Hassani, believe it or not, has been really good there. Those 3 guys that I've been really hard on last year to lead, and they weren't ready, all 3 have taken big steps in that direction this year, especially in the last month.
Frank, I guess, kind of sticking with Chris, you mentioned messing him up at the beginning of the year. I guess, take me through, the background of that and what all went into, repairing his mindset or trying to build him back up after that start to the year.
Chris is as loyal a kid as I've been around, and all he wants to do is please. He's always done this in his career. This is his improvement. He's never flatlined, never dipped, constantly. And I expected for that to continue. And I put too much pressure for that kind of, what do you call that? I think a math teacher would know that's that bar graph, the line graph, to continue in that trajectory. And in reality, it was time. He had improved so much, it was time for it to just kind of settle down for a second. And I was trying to get him to keep going, but he wasn't comfortable keep going. And that created confusion for him. And then I started pressing him to do more. And I finally realized, Frank, you're not helping him, because now he's not doing the things that he's really good at, which is guarding ball screens, which is rebounding, protecting the rim, getting to the foul line, playing like a hoss around the basket. He's not doing those things because I've got him spooked. And that's a great thing about coaching, is you get to a place with players where you can have real conversations with them and they're honest with you and they tell you stuff. And that's kind of what we did. And I told him, I said, Chris, I messed this whole thing up. We're going to hit stop and we're going to start again. And I said, and then I told the whole team that. And to give Chris some credibility that I'm the one that screwed the whole thing up. And I think he respected that and the players respected that. And He's really playing well right now. He's playing at a high level again, and didn't finish. What did he shoot from the field today? Yeah, 5 for 11. You know, had some opportunities to score some balls, but they're good. They lead the league in block shots. They're hard to score at the rim. But you know, but look at his rebounding numbers, his ball screen defense. You know, it's he's playing well again.
You told me yesterday Q Weatherspoon was probably the best offensive rebounder you've faced in the
Who's
league.
that?
Q Weatherspoon.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 tonight.
Yeah.
You guys win the rebounds again. Just can you talk about the way you guys have played off the glass the last 2 games?
Yeah, that goes back to the trust factor. You know, guys are trusting in what we're telling them. They're trusting. So when you trust in what someone tells you, you actually go out and try and do it. And we've put a lot of effort as coaches to get our team to rebound better. Part of our problem is that we're very young in the guard spot. Okay, Keyshawn, AJ, Trey Campbell's not like this physical specimen that walks in and just knocks people over. So, and he played very differently than we're asking him to play right now. So on the perimeter, that's, you know, those guys got to grow up there. They can't stand around and just kind of look at the ball. You got to go put bodies on bodies. And then Felipe, Mike, we've been on them. You got to be more physical. Chris is very physical. Chris's biggest problem is that he's trying to go help all the time. So he's constantly like ball hawking, trying to rotate to protect the rim. And then when people shoot, he stands and looks at the ball, and then that's where he struggles. He's gotten better. Now he realizes, okay, I didn't have to go help. That guy shot, I got to go find my man. And now go box out so you don't get caught underneath the rim. He's gotten better. We've put in a lot of time at getting better at that. You know, Evan Hinson, Evan's going to help us. You know, I wasn't ready for him today. That's just not having enough practice time. I just didn't, you know, in the second half. But he's been with me for 3 years. I'm going to trust in Evan. He works his tail off. One of the reasons Keyshawn's playing better is because of Evan. You know, but we're not there yet. We still don't play as strong as we have to play. We got to keep working at that.
Coach, I know it's super early in your SEC schedule, but both you and the women's team are now 2-0 in your first SEC games. Would you say you guys kind of build off of that momentum, and how would you take this momentum that you guys have right now, and what will be the key to, you know, keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, I said it since my first year here that, you know, football won, baseball won, women's basketball won. There's an unbelievable pressure that's created internally on campus amongst athletes, peer pressure, but a positive one, that we're like the only team that wasn't winning. And that's a healthy thing. And Dawn, obviously, what she's done with her team, her program, you know, but the answer is yes. But we also could, that close of being 0-4 combined. You know, so we can't lose perspective of that. You know, she's got basically a young team. They got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. And we got to stay humble enough to be consumed with the next day, not even the next opponent, the next day. But there's a winning culture in place in our athletic department that creates a peer pressure amongst the athletes that, you know, we all got to do better. And you know, I'm happy we won at home too. We've played a monster schedule here at home. You know, that's including Stony Brook and Wofford, and we hadn't gotten it done. You know, I was happy that our guys were able to get that game done here in front of their fans.
When Ben was in here, he talked about his scout. He said maybe he should have doubled Kotsar. What is your reaction, I guess, to that statement from him? And you mentioned that you guys are close. How close do you think you are to playing the type of basketball you think that is optimal for this group?
I'm still trying to figure our team out. So I'm not into putting ceilings on anything. If the day I put a ceiling on something, then why keep working? You know, I don't believe in ceilings. Let's keep getting better. Just keep getting better. We're playing a lot better defensively. We're playing a lot better offensively. We're rebounding better. We're, you know, outside of the first half of Florida, we're not turning it over at an alarming rate today. We had a real bad turnover late in the game today. Real bad turnover. We've gotten away from that stuff. I'm into constantly getting better. That's all I care about. You know, we play better on Saturday against Missouri, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to win. But I'll be happy if we play better. And we got to keep cleaning up our defense. Our biggest problem right now defensively is that we got young kids that tend to stand and watch the ball. Keyshawn, AJ, Trey Campbell, he's young in our system. They stand and watch the ball. Whenever you stand up defensively, good teams make you pay. That happened today. Every time those guys stood up, Mississippi State cut. And now we're on our heels fighting for our lives. And you know, we got to keep getting better there. Absolutely have to. That's a must. We've gotten a lot better, but we're not even close. Like that last possession, what AJ did, he's got that in him defensively. He doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know how hard he has to play yet. He's got to figure that out. And that's my job, and it's his job collectively to keep pushing to get that to that place one day. Sleep well.